Hey everybody, this is Strategywizard, and once again I'm going to do a video where I'm talking about what the critics say on a game that I really like. So in this case it's King of Tokyo. We're going to look and see, do I agree with the critics on some level? Are there issues justified, or are they just being too extreme? And this will help flesh out my review by showing the other side, what people don't like about the game, and you can more adequately judge what you think. So to get started, we're going to look at these one-star reviews on Board Game Geek. We have, I used the time I spent eliminated to rate the game. Elimination mechanics that aren't controllable are bad. I don't exactly understand what he means by elimination mechanics that aren't controllable, but yes, you will get eliminated sometimes. Sometimes it won't happen. It could be that someone just gets to 20 points before anyone dies. Other times people could be dying and other people are hanging in there and surviving. But the game is not overly long, in my opinion. Maybe if you had a lot of players it could be more of an issue. But I'm okay with player elimination in some cases, and in a game like this I think it is okay. Mainly because it's a fairly light game. It's pretty quick, and typically you're not going to have anyone dying too soon, mainly because unless you're just trying to hang in Tokyo to survive, to get points, and you're trying to survive as long as possible in Tokyo, that could get you killed early. So you can control that. You don't have to go in there and try to survive as long as possible to get those points, and then, oh no, I died because a whole other round of people came, hit me, and killed me. You get out. You should get out whenever you have a decent amount of health left. That way you have time to heal yourself again. Now, obviously, you may not be able to heal yourself. You're dependent on the dice to give you those hearts, but on average, you're going to get that opportunity to heal yourself because you get those re-rolls. You have 6 dice. Chances are you're going to get some hearts. You're going to heal yourself. The only issue, I guess, is if you're trying to stay in Tokyo. Because if you're outside of Tokyo, the only person that can hit you, or people if you play a 5 to 6 player game, are the people in Tokyo and Tokyo Bay. So you don't have everyone hitting you as the turns go around unless you're in Tokyo or Tokyo Bay. So it is more controllable, I think, than this person gives it credit for. This person says, it's so random that I absolutely hate it. There are cards that can help players control their dice more, but they require good rolls to even acquire. Well, like I said in my review, the vast majority of the time you're going to get good rolls because 3 things are almost always good. Attacking, great. Energy, great. Hearts, unless you're in King of Tokyo, great. And if you have the expansions, getting 3 hearts is great. So, I mean, it's not like you're getting a bunch of bad rolls. Now, the 1s, 2s, and 3s, sure. If you get a bunch of those but not 3, so you don't get the points, that is a bad roll. But the chances of you just getting 1s, 2s, and 3s but not enough to get any points is very tiny, so I don't think it's nearly as bad as he thinks. However, this is a game. If you don't like dice, you're not going to like this game. That's pretty straightforward. So if dice bother you because you don't want any of that luck at all, you want to steer away from this because it's a dice-driven game, but it's not totally random in the sense that you can't control your fate to some degree. In my opinion, for a dice game, it has a good bit of control, but hey, different people are going to think differently. Kind of boring, basic, luck-based game. I didn't have much fun playing it. Also, it has player elimination, which is always terrible. Again, if you don't like... He says boring. I disagree with boring. I think it's pretty exciting. You're rolling the dice, you're seeing what you get, you're attacking and getting cool cards. To me, that's not boring, but they say basic. It is relatively simple. I mean, it's rolling dice. It's whatever the dice tell you, you get that result, you buy cards, you're attacking. I mean, that's pretty much it. It's a simple game. I'll give him that. Luck-based, there is some luck, but there's also some control to that. He says... player elimination is always terrible. Well, if you think it's terrible, then you don't want this game. So I would agree with him there, if you don't like it. King Kong Yahtzee. Stay tuned for Garfield's next release. Star Trek Zombie Cthulhu-themed tic-tac-toe. Guaranteed to make the top 50 list on the BGG. Well, I mean... obviously, this guy has some issues. He says King Kong Yahtzee. I mean, it's way more than that. It's the cards add tons of theme. The character powers that you get from the expansions add a lot, of course. This guy probably didn't experience that. But the dice, the fact that you get these different results, so, being able to attack, get energy, and heal, I mean, it's way more interesting than Yahtzee as far as the theme goes, so I disagree with him there. Let's see. What else do we have here? A game of pretend decision making that makes Filthy Rich look brilliant. I don't know what Filthy Rich is, so I can't comment on that. But a game of pretend decision making, I have to disagree. I mean, you are making decisions. You're deciding what dice to keep, and sometimes the dice you keep changes the total flow of the game, because if you avoid getting hearts because you really want to do damage or get energy, then maybe you end up not getting enough health and someone does so much damage that it kills you and it surprises you. I mean, you're making choices. Do you want to try to get points? I mean, I've had times where I have 2 3s and I think, do I want to try to keep my 3s and roll to get more points? And I've made decisions based on that, and I've gotten a lot of points and sometimes not. It is push your luck. Is a little bit, I mean, there's no doubt about that, but I mean, you make choices that matter. Go for points, go for attacking, go for getting lots of energy so you can buy those cards. There's more to it than he gives it credit for. Another game I don't understand the hype around. Not my sort of fun. I don't like fun. I guess I don't understand what you're saying, because I understand by in quotes, I guess he means that it's a fake fun, but I guess I don't understand what he didn't really explain what his problem is. That is just, it is fun. It is fun, people. I mean, I know not everyone's going to like it, but come on now. Let's not just make fun of it without giving a good reason. This game is crap. It had to be fixed heavily by house rules before the cards even became a factor in the game. Energy is given to the player or players in Tokyo in between each separate player turn. Game looks nice, dice are awesome, but this game is seriously crap. Well, I'm sorry. They say energy is given to the players in Tokyo. Well, that's not true, and it's not in between each separate player turn. Well, I think this guy must have misunderstood the rules. It's not energy, it's points that you get, but only at the beginning of the person's turn in Tokyo. I'm sorry, you obviously don't know how to play, so your 1-star review, I think, is wrong. Either that or you're misrepresenting what you're trying to say, in which case you're not helping anyone because people are going to be confused. Sorry. Okay, this guy says, what a disaster this game is. I thought we were freed from the monopoly play until you were the only one left over, but some people insist on playing bad games. Dice rolling and trying to stab down your opponents in an idiotic, simple way. Maybe too many people recognize the game they play in daily life in this hyped game that I will refuse to play from now on. Good for people that don't know where to get rid of their aggression towards each other, but not good for me. No thank you. He says -2, -3, -5, -6, -7, -8, -10. I don't understand what he's going with there. But, gosh, this guy, he says it's a disaster. He says play until you're the only one left over. You don't just play until you're the only one left over unless no one's getting points. Now, okay, in some games, yeah, people probably won't be getting a lot of points. But that doesn't mean that you're not trying to get points. And you know what? Attacking each other in this game is part of the fun. If you don't like it fighting and attacking and trying to destroy each other, okay, definitely not the game for you. But that's, people coming into this game should know that. I mean, you know you're playing a game about monsters fighting each other, so you can expect there to be some, I know maybe, you might not assume that there's player elimination, so I'll give them that. Maybe you wouldn't assume that with this game, but if you're okay with player elimination in a game that's not super long, that's not an issue. And he says some people insist on playing bad games. Well, obviously you're in the minority because most people think it's really good. I don't really know how to help you there, buddy. He says dice rolling and trying to stab down your opponents is in an idiotic simple way. How is it idiotic or simple? I don't understand. I mean, it's simple in the sense that the mechanics are simple, but it's not idiotic. I mean, you're rolling dice trying to get the results that help you the most, and you're trying to strategize on what path to take, points or destroying everyone else, knowing when to try to push for healing. I'm sorry. I can't agree with that at all. Jumps on the bandwagon for the de-evolution of board gaming. I'm sorry. I can't even legitimize that with a comment. So now we're going to go to the 2 stars and see how angry these people are. Okay, illustrations and graphics, thumbs up. Accessible, thumbs up. Player elimination, thumbs down. Dice, thumbs down. Shallow, thumbs down. I am immune to this game's charms. Okay, well, shallow, I don't know that I agree with that necessarily. I'm not really, I mean, I can see how you could argue that from the base game without the expansions. But even then, I don't think I'd call it shallow. I mean, maybe some people could see it that way, but it's still, like I say, it's got there's a lot going on with the cards and the dice rolling, trying to figure out what you want to do. But it's light. It's not shallow. It's just light. To me, there's a difference. Shallow is a game like, I don't know, Sorry, where you're just rolling dice and moving and drawing a card here and there. I mean, that's shallow in my opinion. Let me know if you disagree in the comments. But dice, thumbs down. Yeah, if you don't like dice, don't get it. Player elimination, again, that's that's something that you have to deal with on your own. Is that a problem for you or not? Yahtzee plus monsters plus King of the Hill equals not my thing. Fair enough. Can't disagree with you there. If you don't like it, you don't like it. Lacks both strategic depth and amusement factor. I mean, that's kind of bold. Player elimination is not always a problem. In other words, if the game is still interesting to watch, but Tokyo falls flat on that too. Okay, I don't necessarily agree with him, but maybe it doesn't have the strategic depth of something like Forbidden Stars or War of the Ring, something where there's, you know, a lot of big choices going on. But I think there's still enough. You're making these tactical choices and strategic choices, trying to figure out what your goal is, and every turn you're making a gamble. You're deciding, is it worth going for this over this? Do I want to try to go for those points since those 3s or 2s turned up? So to me, every turn is exciting, and every other person's turn is exciting because you're wanting to see what they roll. Are they going to get a lot of attack and hurt everyone? You want to see how much energy they get, because the energy that they're getting could be towards buying a card that you really want. So I just disagree. Okay, dice rolling and pressure luck, 57,977, 2.3 times. I don't understand. Okay. Help me if y'all know what that means. The Fest of Uncontrolled Random. Okay. Okay, that's in Spanish. Sorry, not going to do that. This person says no. Well, I'm glad. That's a very helpful comment. Why is that a dice rolling game? Something more meaty would be better. Also, dice rolling for points is boring. Okay. If you think so, I can't really disagree if that's what you think. Perhaps the most overrated game ever made. It's not anything about what kind of game this is. I like short games. I like dice games, and I love the idea of dueling giant monsters. What I don't like is a game with little strategy, and what strategy there is being completely unthematic. Half the dice are just rolling for victory points. Okay, yeah, that's true. 1, 2s, and 3s. I'll give them that. Unthematic random victory point garbage can be bad in a Euro, but in a game like this, it's pretty unforgivable. I guess that's up to y'all to decide what y'all think about that. Personally, it doesn't bother me. I find it interesting because it gives me a choice that sometimes it makes me push my luck. And if it makes me do something I normally wouldn't do, that makes it interesting to me. Normally, I would agree, I'm not going to want to roll for points. But whenever those 2 2s or 2 3s pop up, and I'm thinking, man, I've got 2 more rerolls. I've got a good chance of getting a 2 or 3. Maybe I should go for that for those points. It makes me change what I'm doing, and that to me is exciting. Whenever something changes your outlook or your path, that's got to be interesting on some level to me. Maybe some people don't agree. This guy obviously doesn't. Also, in games I've seen, the winner tends to be the person who spends as little time in Tokyo as possible. Those who overstay their welcome get killed. Now, I agree with that probably. Obviously, that's true if you have a lot of players, because that means every other player is going to be attacking you while you're in Tokyo, and if they get a lot of hits, you will die because you only have 10 HP to start. So let's just say you have 6 players. That means 5 people are going to go, and they're going. But the difference is that this guy's not taken into account. Let me go back. Also, in games I've seen, the winner tends to be the person. Those who overstay their welcome get killed. That's true because all these people are going to be going around, but you can leave at any one of those points. So it's not like you have to wait all the way back around to your turn to get out. If that first person does a lot of damage, you can get out right then. That's a push your luck element. Do you want to stay in longer in the hopes of getting that extra 2 points when it comes back around to your turn? That's your choice. It's not something you have to do. So I don't think that's as big of a problem as he thinks. And those who play cowardly and roll for victory points tend to win. Now, I've never seen that happen ever, I don't think. I'm trying to think. I mean, I've played a lot of 2-player games of this, and I've won by getting victory points and never being in Tokyo. I have done that before, but not by being cowardly. I just never got the damage enough to knock my opponent out of Tokyo. And those who go for cool special abilities find that the game usually ends before they can do much with them. I don't necessarily agree with that because I've gotten some pretty cool cards that do some really good things, but in some cases that probably is true. In other hands, it's a luck-filled, non-strategic game that rewards the dullest and most unthematic strategy. Okay. This game is barely passable as a kid's game. Now, I totally disagree with that. To me, as a kid's game, it does work because it gives choices and it gives you that push your luck element that, I think is good for helping kids learn what's worth going for. When should you take your chances? Because my son has taken chances that were way off base. Whenever I saw him making that choice, I thought, wow, that's probably not going to work out for him. In some cases it did, though. Some cases I was in unbelief that he rolled exactly what he wanted and it worked out. Other cases it didn't, but over time he learns more about what's worth taking a risk on and what's not. So I find that to be nice. And saving your energy to buy better cards instead of just spending them as you get them, kind of like saving money in real life. So I do think it works as a kid's game. For adults, it's a miserable failure. If you want some mindless, violent fun, play Cash and Guns instead. I haven't played that before, so I can't comment, although I've heard a lot of good things about it. Just because a game is designed by Richard Garfield and features giant monsters doesn't mean it's any good. Well, that's obviously true, but in this case, it just so happens that the game is fun, and most people think it is. I mean, if you don't like rolling for victory points, okay, that's your choice to let that bother you. But part of what that is to me is making it to where you don't just always get these awesome rolls all the time. I mean, it kind of tempers it a little bit where you have half of it's getting the good things that you really want. You want that health to heal yourself. You want damage. You want energy. The points are like the side story. But whenever they start popping up a lot, you start going, well, maybe I will go for that. So to me, it balances it out so that you have more choices. I think it's a good thing. He doesn't. I think that's a good one to end on. He gives a lot of information as far as why he doesn't like it. Y'all can decide for yourselves. Do you think those are legitimate criticisms? Is it something that would make you not want to play this game? It doesn't faze me at all. I really am glad I bought it. The expansions definitely make it better. So leave down in the comments, please, what you think. Do you agree with these people? Do you think that I'm crazy for liking it? I mean, or if you don't like it, what reason do you have? Is it the same reasons as these people, or do you have something else that just ruins the game for you? I'd like to hear from you, so if you want, leave whatever comments you want. If you think I'm crazy, tell me. So anyway, it's been nice having y'all watch the video. If you don't mind, could you subscribe? I'd appreciate that. And apart from that, I'd really like to have you watch my next videos, and I will see you later. Have a good day.